Superior lead scientist Quarix Neb stood before the assembled research team, his tentacles quivering with barely contained excitement. The laboratory's sleek metallic walls reflected the pulsing blue light from the containment chambers, where their latest test subjects floated peacefully in suspension. He cleared all 3 of his throat sacs and began the morning briefing. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of unspecified or fluid gender classification," he announced, "today marks the 847th successful test of Project Mindweaver." He paused for the obligatory tentacle waggling that passed for applause in their culture. "Our mind control serum has now successfully subjugated 42 different species across 12 star systems." From the back of the room, junior researcher Plex snorted. "Yeah, if you count that time we made the Zorgaxian slug crawl in a straight line instead of its usual squiggly pattern." "That counts," Quarix huffed, his skin flushing a defensive shade of purple. "The serum altered its natural behavior patterns, precisely as intended." "Sure," Boss Plex muttered, making a show of updating her notes. "Should I add can influence creatures with literally 3 neurons to our list of groundbreaking achievements?" Senior researcher Ballora Taz, always the voice of reason, raised one of her eye stalks. "Perhaps we should focus on our latest breakthrough? The K9 subject from Earth has shown remarkable responsiveness." "Ah, yes," Quarix brightened, his color returning to its normal mauve. "Subject K9 now responds perfectly to all basic commands: sit, stay, roll over." "It did that anyway," Plex interrupted. "That is literally what that species was bred for. We basically invented water that's wet." Quarix ignored her, pulling up a holographic display of their latest test results. Graphs and charts flickered in the air, showing perfect bell curves and straight lines that would make any scientist's heart swell with pride. All 3 of his hearts were certainly swelling. "The serum has achieved complete stability," he declared. "No more unfortunate side effects like spontaneous tap dancing or uncontrollable urges to recite poetry in ancient Marxilian. We're ready for the next phase." The room fell silent. Even Plex stopped her theatrical eye rolling. "You don't mean?" Ballora's voice trailed off. "Yes," Quarix's tentacles spread wide in triumph. "The High Council has approved our request. We're going to test it on humans." The silence deepened. Someone dropped a test tube, its shattering drawing a wince from the entire team. Sir Ballora ventured carefully. "Are you sure that's wise? Our preliminary observations of humans have been concerning." "Concerning?" Quarix laughed. "They're barely space capable. They still think Bitcoin is a good investment. What could possibly go wrong?" "Well," Plex chimed in, "there was that incident with the probe we sent. The one they turned into something called a meme." "No, the other one. The one they somehow reprogrammed to play something called Never Gonna Give You Up on All Frequencies." Quarix waved a dismissive tentacle. "Minor setback. Besides, the High Council is tired of waiting. They want results, and humans are the perfect test subjects. They're numerous, relatively intelligent, and completely unaware of our existence. What better way to prove our serum's effectiveness?" The team exchanged nervous glances. They'd all seen the human entertainment broadcast they'd intercepted. Particularly troubling was something called reality TV, which seemed to suggest humans were capable of generating chaos, even without any external influence. "First thing tomorrow," Quarix continued, practically bouncing with enthusiasm, "we begin Phase 1 human acquisition. Ballora, prepare the stealth shuttles. Plex, do try to look less like you're planning my funeral." "I'm actually planning ours," Plex muttered. "But whatever floats your tentacles, boss." As the team dispersed to their stations, Quarix hummed happily to himself, imagining the accolades that awaited him. Soon, he'd be famous across the galaxy as the scientist who perfected mind control. He'd get a bigger laboratory, a corner office with a view of all 3 suns, maybe even one of those fancy hover chairs with the massage function. What could possibly go wrong? The stealth shuttle hovered silently above a medium-sized human settlement called Minneapolis, its cloaking field rendering it invisible to Earth's primitive detection systems. Inside, Quarix Neb pressed his face against the observation window, all 4 eyes wide with excitement. "Look at them," he exclaimed. "They're perfect. Just walking around, completely oblivious, doing whatever that is." He pointed at a human walking while staring at a small rectangular device, nearly colliding with a pole. That's called texting while walking, Ballora explained, consulting her research notes. It's a common human behavior that demonstrates their remarkable ability to survive despite severely impaired situational awareness. Sir, the shuttle pilot called out, I'm picking up some unusual readings from the local communication networks. What kind of readings? Quarix asked, still distracted by the humans below. Well, according to these intercepts, half the population is arguing about something called pineapple on pizza, and the other half is trying to convince everyone that birds aren't real. Fascinating, Quarix exclaimed. Such simple minds, so easily distracted by trivial debates. They'll be perfect for our serum. Plex, who had been quietly monitoring her own screens, spoke up. Boss, you might want to see this. I've been analyzing their entertainment content, and there's something weird. Weird how? Well, they seem to have an unusually high number of stories about resisting mind control and winning against aliens, who look surprisingly like us. Quarix waved away her concerns. Pure fantasy. Besides, our serum is perfect. The High Council expects results, and I've already booked the celebration venue for next week. Do you know how hard it is to get a reservation at the Tentacle and Trumpet? The shuttle's comm system crackled to life with a message from High Counselor Vedi. Quarix, where are my mind-controlled humans? The Council is getting impatient. The Zorgaxians are showing off their new gravity manipulation technology next week, and I refuse to sit through another one of their smug presentations without something to brag about. Soon, Your Excellency, Quarix assured him. We're just finishing our final observations. Did you know humans voluntarily consume something called coffee? They're basically pre-programmed for chemical dependency. Just get it done, Vedi grumbled. And make it spectacular. I want to see humans doing synchronized dancing or something. Maybe recreate one of their flash mobs. Those are quite entertaining. After the communication ended, Ballora approached Quarix with a concerned expression. Sir, perhaps we should review the preliminary data more thoroughly. These humans seem unpredictable. Nonsense, Quarix declared. Look at them. That one's been standing in line for 20 minutes to pay too much for a cup of bitter bean water. They're clearly susceptible to suggestion. The team watched as a human below got into an intense argument with another human about which sports team's collection of millionaires was superior to the other's collection of millionaires. See, Quarix gestured triumphantly. Simple minds. Now let's prepare for Phase 2. Plex, status report on the serum production. Plex checked her tablet. We've manufactured enough to control a small city, though I still think we should start with something smaller, like maybe one human, or a particularly ambitious hamster. A city will do nicely, Quarix rubbed his tentacles together gleefully. We'll start with Minneapolis. By this time tomorrow, the entire population will be under our control. And you're sure the serum will work the same on humans as it did on the other species? Ballora asked. Of course. We've tested it on everything from single-celled organisms to creatures with complex nervous systems. What could humans possibly have that would make them different? Well, Plex scrolled through her notes. According to these observations, they have something called memes, TikTok challenges, and an inexplicable ability to turn anything into a conspiracy theory. Minor complications. Quarix dismissed her concerns. Prepare the aerosol dispersal systems. Tomorrow at dawn we make history. As the team bustled about making preparations, Quarix imagined his name in the science journal's Quarix Neb, conqueror of human consciousness. He'd be famous. They might even name a procedure after him. Something catchy like the Neb maneuver or Quarixification. Down below, a human tripped while trying to film themselves performing a complicated dance move, then immediately uploaded the failure for millions of others to see. Absolutely perfect test subjects, Quarix muttered to himself. What could possibly go wrong? Behind him, Plex was quietly updating her resume and researching positions in less ambitious research projects. Perhaps that team studying the mating habits of space snails was still hiring. The abduction of Amanda Blackwood went perfectly, right up until it didn't. The 28-year-old barista had been an ideal first test subject, selected specifically because she worked the 4 a.m. opening shift at her coffee shop. Who would notice one more sleepy human stumbling around in the pre-dawn darkness? Subjects secured, Ballora reported as their tractor beam deposited Amanda in the ship's containment chamber, though she seems to be laughing. Indeed, Amanda Blackwood was not displaying the expected terror of someone just snatched off the street by aliens. Instead, she was grinning at them through the containment field. "Oh my God, this is amazing," she exclaimed. "Your ship looks exactly like the one I described in my science fiction novel. Chapter 12, page 247, right down to the weird purple mood lighting." Querix blinked all four eyes in succession. "Plex, why is the test subject talking about writing? The file said she makes coffee for a living." "Apparently humans often have something called side hustles," Plex explained, scrolling through her data pad. "They do multiple things, for fun and money, but mostly fun. They're weird like that." Whatever Querix waved a dismissive tentacle. "Prepare the serum. Standard dose should do it." Amanda pressed her face against the containment field. "Is that the mind control drug? The glowing blue one? Because I totally called that too. Though in my book it was more of a turquoise." "The subject will cease speaking," Querix commanded as Ballora administered the serum through a vapor port. "The subject will feel calm and compliant." Amanda coughed slightly, then grinned even wider. "You guys need better HVAC. That stuff tastes like mint mixed with old gym socks. Also, why do you keep calling me the subject? My name's Amanda. Want to hear about my other novel? It's about telepathic dolphins." Querix's skin shifted to a concerned shade of puce. The serum should have taken effect by now. "Ballora, status report." "All readings are normal." Ballora frowned at her instruments. "Brain activity is stable, perhaps slightly elevated. No signs of external control establishing." "Try the backup protocol," Querix ordered, his voice rising slightly. Full verbal commands with tentacle gestures. He turned to Amanda, raising his appendages in what had been a devastatingly effective control gesture on the Zorgaxian slugs. "You will obey my commands. You will feel an overwhelming urge to do jumping jacks." Amanda tilted her head. "Are you trying to do mind control or interpretive dance? Because honestly, it could go either way. Hey, can I take notes? This would make great material for my next book." "Increase the dosage." Querix's voice definitely wasn't approaching panic. Superior lead scientists didn't panic. They just occasionally experienced accelerated concern. A second dose of serum filled the chamber. Amanda sneezed. "You know what this reminds me of," she continued cheerfully. "This one time at a convention when someone slipped peppermint schnapps in the punch. Though that actually had some effect. This is more like that time I accidentally bought decaf." "Why isn't it working?" Querix demanded, whirling on his team. "Plex. Explanations, now." Plex, who had been quietly recording everything with an expression of profound amusement, consulted her readings. "Well, her brain activity suggests the serum is having an effect, just not the one we expected. Instead of dampening higher functions, it seems to be stimulating them." "Oh yeah, I feel super energized," Amanda confirmed. "Like that time I accidentally drank a whole pot of espresso. Hey, since you guys have obviously read my work, want to hear my pitch for the sequel? It's about aliens who, well, this is awkward now that I think about it." Querix Ballora interjected cautiously. "Perhaps we should consider." No considering. This is just an anomaly, a single resistant subject. We'll simply need to adjust the formula. Plex, prepare the enhanced version. "The one we promised we'd never use after the incident with the tap dancing squirrels," Plex asked. "Yes, no, just do it." The enhanced serum filled the chamber with a faint purple mist. Amanda watched it swirl around her with professional interest. "The lighting effects are way better than I imagined," she commented. "Though personally, I'd go with more of a cosmic nebula vibe, maybe some sparkles." "You will obey." Querix was definitely not screeching now. "You will recite the periodic table." "Ooh, chemistry." Amanda perked up. "Did you know humans thought there were only 4 elements for like thousands of years? Fire, water, earth, and air, which is pretty funny considering, hey, is that tentacle supposed to be that color?" Indeed, Querix's rightmost tentacle had turned an alarming shade of green. Plex quickly consulted the medical database. "Sir," she reported with what might have been a touch of satisfaction, "it seems you're experiencing what humans call a stress response. Might I suggest a brief relaxation period? Perhaps some calming tentacle exercises." "I don't need exercises. I need this human to be mind-controlled." Why isn't she mind-controlled? She's still talking. Oh, don't mind me, Amanda said brightly. This is great research material. Though if you're going for the whole menacing alien scientist vibe, you might want to work on your evil laugh. Want to hear my impression of one? The resulting sound made several sensitive instruments short-circuit and caused Querix's remaining tentacles to tie themselves in knots. Shut it down, he ordered, his voice reaching previously undiscovered octaves. Shut it all down. And somebody please get her to stop being like that. Like what Amanda asked innocently. By the way, has anyone ever told you that you look exactly like a creature from this old Earth movie? Well, except they were more greenish, and they did this thing with their tentacles. As Amanda launched into a detailed comparison of various alien designs in Earth media, Querix slumped against a console, all three of his hearts racing. Plex, he muttered weakly. Please tell me the other test subjects are going to be different. Plex, who was now taking her own notes with undisguised glee, just patted him sympathetically with one appendage while using another to secretly upload the security footage to her personal database. Some things were just too good not to save for posterity. Field Report 2477B, status update on human test subjects. Submitted by junior researcher Plex. Now with added sarcasm, as requested by psychological support staff. Subject 2 Marcus Sterling. Occupation high school physics teacher. Time under observation 6 hours. Serum effectiveness rating -457%. Dear Superior Lead Scientist Querix, assuming you've recovered from your tentacle cramps. Following the interesting events with Subject 1, see attached video titled Amanda Blackwood Explains Why Our Ship Needs Better Snacks, we attempted a modified approach with Subject 2. Marcus Sterling was selected due to his supposedly logical, science-based mindset. We theorized this would make him more susceptible to our empirically proven mind control methods. We were wrong. So very, very wrong. Instead of submitting to control, Sterling began correcting our quantum physics calculations. He also started a heated debate with Ballora about the theoretical possibility of faster-than-light travel, using only a whiteboard marker and interpretive dance to explain his points. Most alarmingly, he somehow derived our entire serum formula just by analyzing its molecular dispersion pattern in the air. Current status: teaching our junior science team about something called the scientific method. 3 of them have already submitted resignation letters to join his AP physics class. Recommendation: avoid all humans with teaching experience. They appear to have natural immunity to mind control, possibly due to years of resistance against administrative oversight. Subject 3 Olivia Reed. Occupation social media manager. Time under observation 4 hours. Serum effectiveness rating: please see attached meme for accurate representation. Your tentacledness. Remember how you said, and I quote, "Nothing could be worse than the writer." After testing Subject 3, I owe Amanda an apology and possibly several chapters worth of feedback on her novel. Upon administration of the serum, Olivia Reed did not, as intended, fall under our control. Instead, she hijacked our communication systems, established an intergalactic social media presence, and somehow made our entire mission trend on something called TikTok. We now have 2.7 million followers and several sponsorship offers from human companies selling something called skincare. Current status: running a viral marketing campaign about sustainable space travel. Alien Steak Earthbun Mekatiko is currently trending across 17 platforms. The Zorgaxians have already slid into our DMs asking for collaboration opportunities. Recommendation: disable all Wi-Fi capabilities immediately. Also, please stop trying to check our follower count every 5 minutes. Your interest in human validation metrics is concerning. Emergency addendum. High Counselor Ved's surprise inspection could not have been more poorly timed. His arrival coincided with what Olivia calls a Instagram live session. The resulting cross-species diplomatic incident has already been remixed into something called a fire beat. The Council's interpretive dance to avoid copyright claims has received 12 million views. Speaking of the Council, their latest communication reads as follows. From High Council of Superior Species. To Research Team Alpha, aka that bunch of tentacled disasters. Subject: what in the 7 suns is happening? Querix. We have several concerns. 1. Why are humans calling us the best comedy duo since Key and Peele? 2. What is a cosmic influencer, and why are we now registered as one? 3. Why is your research facility being tagged in something called Throwback Thursday? 4. Most importantly, why is no one mind-controlled yet? Additional test subject report. Subject 4 through 8 group test. Local amateur theater group. Time under observation 45 minutes. Serum effectiveness rating. We don't talk about this one. Sir, in my professional opinion, attempting to control an entire amateur theater group was your worst idea since the tap dancing squirrels. Not only did they resist the serum, but they have now adapted our entire mission into an improvisational musical comedy. Current status: rehearsing something called Aliens. The musical, a mind control love story. Amanda is writing the script, Marcus is handling the physics-based special effects, and Olivia is managing ticket sales through our hijacked communication systems. Opening night is apparently sold out. Recommendation: perhaps it's time to consider a career change? I hear the Space Snail research team is still hiring. Latest developments. The serum has now been tested on 47 humans. Side effects include increased creativity, enhanced problem-solving abilities, and an inexplicable urge to post about the experience on social media. 0 successful mind control instances. 17 viral videos. 1 upcoming musical production. 2 pending book deals. And a partridge in a pear tree note. I don't actually know what this means, but Amanda insisted it was narratively appropriate. Urgency alert. Sir, the humans have started collaborating. I repeat, the humans have started collaborating. Amanda is teaching Marcus creative writing, he's teaching her physics, and Olivia is teaching everyone something called personal branding. They've started a weekly book club science discussion social media workshop in the detention area. Even more alarming, they've begun suggesting improvements to our technology. Marcus has already redesigned our propulsion system using only a napkin and what he calls back-of-the-envelope calculations. Olivia has modernized our entire communications interface, complete with something called dark mode. Most concerning of all, Amanda has started a writer's workshop for the security team. 3 guards have already completed their first novels. Even the automated cleaning droid is working on a memoir. Final observation. Sir, I don't mean to alarm you, but I've noticed something about the humans' reaction to our serum. Each failure isn't random, it's targeted. The serum isn't failing to work, it's working in reverse. Instead of suppressing their traits, it's enhancing them. Writers become more creative, teachers become more instructive, influencers become more influential. In short, we haven't created a mind control serum. We've accidentally invented a human enhancement drug. And they're starting to ask for the formula. With deepest concern and barely concealed amusement. Junior Researcher Plex. Yes, please stop hiding in your office. The humans have noticed and are planning an intervention. They're calling it leadership skills for intergalactic research supervisors, a holistic approach to management. Quarix stood before the emergency session of the High Council, his tentacles twisted into what his therapist called a stress pretzel. The massive display behind him showed a series of increasingly concerning brain scans. As you can see from these images, he gestured weakly. Human brains are problematic. Problematic, how High Counselor Ved demanded, still bitter about his unauthorized social media debut. Well, you see, their brains aren't just complex, they're chaotic. Every time we modify the serum to target one aspect, they adapt. It's like trying to nail down water. Sparkly, caffeinated water that won't stop making puns. In the laboratory below, their test subjects had transformed their containment area into what they called a think tank. Amanda sat in a corner, furiously writing what she claimed was a groundbreaking paper on cross-species communication. Marcus had covered an entire wall with equations that made senior mathematicians cry. Olivia had somehow organized a TED Talk series called Overcoming Alien Mind Control Through Self-Actualization. Look at these neural pathway readings, Quarix continued desperately. When we tried to suppress their creative centers, their analytical abilities increased. When we targeted their logic centers, Their emotional intelligence spiked. When we attempted to control their speech centers, they invented 3 new forms of sign language and an interpretive dance routine. The latest serum modification was particularly unexpected, Ballora added, pulling up another set of readings. We attempted to dampen their problem-solving abilities. And Ved leaned forward. They solved our grand unified theory of physics, using interpretive dance, set to something called disco music. The council chambers erupted in chaos. One member fainted dramatically. Another began stress molting. That's not the worst part, Plex chimed in, ignoring Quarix's frantic tentacle signals to stop talking. They're starting to understand our technology better than we do. Yesterday, Marcus explained our own propulsion system to us, with graphs and jokes. He made our engineering team laugh about quantum mechanics, Ballora added. We didn't even know we could laugh about quantum mechanics. Down in the lab, Amanda had just finished what she called a riveting chapter about the bureaucratic struggles of a well-meaning but overwhelmed alien scientist. The similarities to certain present individuals were, she assured everyone, purely coincidental. We've tried everything, Quarix wailed. We've modified the serum 2,847 times. We've attempted group control, individual control, even subliminal control through their entertainment channels. That last one backfired spectacularly, Plex noted. They just created a new genre called cosmic reality TV. The show about our cafeteria drama has won 3 human awards, Ballora added helpfully. Quarix slumped against the podium. Every time we think we've figured them out, they surprise us. Did you know they can process multiple contradictory thoughts simultaneously? They call it cognitive dissonance and treat it like a normal thing. They also have this thing called procrastination, Plex continued, warming to the subject. They can operate at peak efficiency under pressure while simultaneously doing absolutely nothing productive. It defies all known laws of productivity. And memes, Ballora jumped in. They communicate complex ideas through deliberately absurd images with text. Our linguistics team is still trying to decode something called Rick-rolling. The council chamber's emergency screens suddenly lit up with incoming transmission requests. The humans had somehow gained access to the galactic communication network. Oh no, Quarix whispered. The first message appeared: Intergalactic Talent Show sign up now open. Host Earth Entertainment Division, formerly known as Alien Research Facility Beta. Then another breaking news: Human Innovation Consultancy now offering services to advanced species. Special discount for first-time world conquerors. And another now trending across the galaxy: how to fail at mind control going viral. Like and subscribe for more human insights. They're not just resisting the control, Quarix realized with dawning horror. They're reverse engineering our entire operation. Actually, came Amanda's voice over the intercom. They definitely should have secured better. We figured that out days ago. We just stayed in the containment area because Marcus wanted to finish his quantum physics breakthrough, and Olivia said the lighting was perfect for her new content series. Plus, Marcus added, your cafeteria makes surprisingly good coffee. Speaking of which, Olivia chimed in, your facility's Yelp rating is skyrocketing. The aesthetic really works for the young alien demographic. The High Council sat in stunned silence as notifications continued to flood their screens. Humans weren't just adapting to their technology, they were improving it. They weren't just resisting control, they were turning the entire situation into an entrepreneurial opportunity. Sir Plex said quietly to Quarix, I believe the humans have a phrase for this situation. What is it, he asked, watching his career dissolve in real time. We're not just in over our heads, we're in over our tentacles. In the background, Amanda could be heard workshopping titles for her next novel, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Mind Control. Intergalactic Peace Treaty and Cooperation Agreement. Now available as a podcast, documentary series, and musical production. Location: former research facility Beta, now Earth Embassy and Innovation Hub. Time: 1 month after the mind control incident. Recorded by junior researcher Plex. Additional notes by Amanda Blackwood, best-selling author of How to Train Your Alien. The Grand Conference Room, hastily redecorated with what Olivia assured everyone was optimal lighting for social media, hosted the most unusual diplomatic gathering in galactic history. On one side sat the High Council, their tentacles nervously arranged in what human psychology books called defensive body language. On the other side sat the human delegation, all former test subjects, looking remarkably pleased with themselves. Marcus Sterling, now holding the title of Chief Science Officer of Human-Alien Cooperation, adjusted his glasses and began the proceedings. So he said, pulling up a holographic presentation, about that mind control serum. "We apologize," unreservedly High Counselor Ved blurted out, his skin cycling through 7 different shades of embarrassment. "It was a terrible idea. We see that now." "Oh, we're not here to complain," Amanda said cheerfully, tapping away at her tablet. "We're here to propose a partnership. You see, while your serum didn't exactly control our minds, it did have some fascinating effects on human cognitive enhancement." "The patents alone are worth a fortune," Olivia added, checking the latest market projections on her holographic display. "Our new startup, Serum Solutions Incorporated, is already valued at 12 trillion galactic credits, and that's just from the pre-orders." Oryx, who had been trying to hide behind a potted plant, perked up slightly. "Pre-orders." "Oh yes," Marcus nodded. "Turns out there's a huge market for products that enhance natural abilities without the whole pesky mind control aspect. We're calling it Cognitive Boost Plus. Side effects include increased creativity, enhanced problem solving, and a slight tendency to make science puns." "The marketing campaign practically writes itself," Olivia beamed. "New and improved. Now with zero mind control and 100% more self-actualization." The High Council members exchanged bewildered looks. This was not how successful planetary invasions usually ended. "And in return for this partnership," Ved asked cautiously, "what do you humans want?" Amanda smiled. It was the kind of smile that had preceded several of Querix's nervous breakdowns. Just a few small things. First, exclusive rights to the serum formula. Done, the council chorused. Second, open exchange of scientific and cultural knowledge. Of course. And finally, she paused for dramatic effect, something she'd been practicing for her upcoming TEDx talk. "We want Querix." What Querix knocked over the potted plant he'd been hiding behind? As our Chief Research Officer Marcus clarified, "Your work on the serum, while misguided, was brilliant. We think you'd do amazing things with proper funding and less pressure to conquer species." Plus, Olivia added, "Your journey from would-be mind controller to innovative scientist would make an amazing redemption arc for Season 2 of our reality show." The show's ratings are through the roof, by the way, Amanda mentioned casually. Turns out the galaxy loves watching superior species learn valuable lessons about hubris. The treaty signing ceremony was broadcast live across 17 galaxies. Olivia's production team had arranged everything perfectly, from the lighting to the dramatically timed signing music. Amanda had written the speech, carefully balancing diplomacy with just enough snark to keep it entertaining. As High Counselor VD signed the final document, officially recognizing Earth as a major galactic power and partner in what they were calling the Cognitive Enhancement Initiative, he leaned over to Querix. "I don't understand," he whispered. "How did they turn our perfect mind control serum into this?" Querix, who had recently started his own blog about scientific ethics and personal growth, just shrugged. "They didn't turn it into anything. They just made us see what it actually was. Humans don't need mind control. They're perfectly capable of changing minds through TED Talks and social media campaigns." An interpretive dance Plex added, not looking up from where she was helping Amanda outline her next novel, How to Succeed in Galactic Politics Without Really Mind Controlling. The aftermath was swift and surprisingly profitable. The research facility was converted into Earth's first galactic embassy, complete with a coffee shop that Amanda insisted was essential for diplomatic relations. Marcus's physics classes became the most popular seminars in the galaxy, especially after he incorporated memes into his quantum mechanics lectures. Olivia's social media empire expanded to cover 12 galaxies, making her the first cross-species influencer with a following larger than the population of several star systems. Her weekly podcast, Mind Control Mondays What Not to Do, broke all known streaming records. And Querix? He finally got his corner office with a view of all 3 suns. Though now, instead of plotting planetary domination, he spent his time reviewing research proposals and trying to understand why humans kept sending him something called cat videos. The High Council, in a desperate attempt to save face, declared the entire operation a successful cultural exchange program that had been planned all along. Nobody believed them, but humans taught them about something called plausible deniability, which helped ease the sting. 1 year later, at the grand opening of the Intergalactic Center for Human-Alien Cooperation, featuring state-of-the-art research labs, a fusion cuisine cafeteria, and excellent Wi-Fi, Amanda cornered Querix by the coffee machine. "You know what the real irony is," she said, sipping her triple-shot espresso with a knowing smile. "What?" he asked, trying and failing to operate what humans called a coffee pod machine. "You actually did change our minds, just not through mind control. You showed us we weren't alone in the universe, gave us amazing technology, and accidentally helped us unite the entire planet through a combination of scientific advancement and really good social media content." So what you're saying is, the real mind control was the friends we made along the way. Somewhere in the distance, Plex could be heard groaning at the pun while simultaneously uploading it to the galactic meme database. And that's how humanity's first contact with alien life ended, not with mind control, but with a business partnership, a best-selling book series, and a trending hashtag that would puzzle xenoarchaeologists for generations to come. Mind control fail galactic girl boss, who Ned's mind controlling you have Wi-Fi. As for the serum, its formula is now printed on coffee mugs in the embassy gift shop, right next to t-shirts reading "My aliens tried to mind control me, and all I got was this lousy enhanced cognition." Querix bought one in every color. For research purposes, of course.